It's just because of your kindness. So thank you very much. And I'd also like to thank everyone over here that have attended so far. We've got 140 participants. It's really a pleasure to know that 140 people have given me an hour of their time to listen to what I have to say. This hour is going to be a bit challenging because typically such hand-on courses I usually give face-to-face, and people usually are in front of me so that I can know whether or not they're following me. So I'll try to follow with the chat as we go through the training step by step. I can notice that some people say that I'm not audible, they can't hear me. So before I start, I'd like to make sure that everyone can hear me. So please let me know through the chat. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I think most of the people can hear you.
Okay, okay, great. Okay. So I'll just start by sharing my screen. Okay. You can see my presentation now?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay.
For everyone, is it clear? Yeah, it's perfect. Everyone is saying it's perfect.
Okay. So by the end of this hour, my main objective is that everyone over here can understand the importance of reference management. And the second thing is that you are ready to get up and running using Mendeley in any of your research projects. So here's the plan. I'm going to spend 10 minutes on giving you a brief introduction on why to use a reference management software. And then for a period of 50 minutes, we're going to continue with the hands-on. It's better if you can use two devices once we get into the hands-on training. So one device you follow my video, and the other device you apply the steps that I'm going to mention. It's preferable to follow my steps through your laptop and use, for example, your iPad or mobile device to listen to the lecture. Some people doubt why we need a reference management software, and I'm going to mention 3 scenarios that every person that have ever worked on a research project has probably faced. And those 3 scenarios or 3 struggles will give you a clear idea why you need a reference management software. So let's say you're working on a research project and you're browsing a database and you found some useful resources for you in your research project. And then you go into your email chatting with a colleague and he shares some more articles that's probably useful in your research project. And you end up with a bunch of articles in your email, and then a bunch of articles in your cloud, and then another bunch of articles in your local desktop, and you don't know how to arrange them and organize them for use. So this is the first problem that you might encounter, which is that your files are all over the place and you need somewhere to organize them in order to be ready to work in a research project. Another problem that you might face during writing your research project, which is, let's say, for example, this is your manuscript and you've written one sentence and you've cited it with reference number 1, and then second sentence, reference number 2, third sentence, reference number 3, so forth up until 4th sentence. And then let's say, for example, you've sent it to a journal for review or to your supervisor, and they've asked you to delete sentence number 2. So if you delete sentence number 2, you'll have to delete the reference as well. But then reference number 3 needs to be number 2, and number 4 needs to be number 3. And it goes on and on and on, especially if you have a long list of references. So this is the second problem, which is difficulty in arranging references. And in addition to that, sometimes some journals require specific types of styling when you're citing articles, whether it's APA, AMA, and then when a journal asks you to change whatever you've done, let's say, for example, you've submitted to journal A and you got rejected, and then you're going to journal B, you need to change all the style of your references. And this is a difficulty that you might face, which is arranging references when arranging references becomes a nightmare. And third scenario is that, let's say you're working with your supervisor and he shares a file with you via email, and then you have another coordinator that sends a reference to you through WhatsApp, and you receive those. And it's sometimes a bit difficult to collaborate with your team in one single platform. So those are the three problems in which a reference management software solves. So it gives you a place where you can organize all your references. It allows you, as we're going to see, to cite your references efficiently within your written manuscript. And then finally, it allows you to collaborate seamlessly with your team. If you've ever worked in a research project and if you haven't used the reference management software, you probably faced one of those three issues or problems. So a reference management software saves your time, makes your life easier, and makes sharing stuff with your colleagues easy. There are many tools over there. Mendeley is not the only reference management software in the market. I have a previous experience with EndNote. When I first started with reference management, I used EndNote, but then EndNote, the web app, or sorry, the desktop app of EndNote became paid, was not for free. And then I was looking for something that was free, and I found Mendeley, and I've been using it for about 4 or 5 years now. And it even has features that, in my opinion, makes it better than EndNote. There are plenty of other options: Zotero, RefWorks, EasyBib. You can use any of them, but from my personal experience, I would advise that you use Mendeley. And this is what we are going to train on in this hour. So I'll give you 5 reasons before we start training on why I love Mendeley. So first reason is that it's free, really free. Everything in Mendeley is free, whether you're using it through your mobile phone, whether you're using it through your laptop, or from Mendeley's website, everything's free. Second reason is that it's with you everywhere. When I want to access my references, I'm using my own laptop, I can access my references. If I'm using my mobile phone, I can access my references. And even if I don't have a computer, I go into the nearest computer that I can find. I go into Mendeley's website and I can find all my references available. Third reason that I love Mendeley is that it allows you from within the software to highlight and annotate all the references that you have if you have the PDF files available. And the fourth reason is that they offer you plenty of space. They give you 2 gigabytes of space. And when you're talking about only PDF documents, that's plenty of space. You can store hundreds, if not thousands of references. And then finally, let's say that you've previously been working on another reference management software and you want to shift to Mendeley. It's compatible. You can import your library from EndNote, Zotero, and move on to Mendeley. So this is a brief introduction just to give you a general overview about reference management and why we need reference management. Now I'm going to move on to hands-on training. I'm going to assume that most of you have downloaded the app on your laptops. Before we start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in a general overview the roadmap of training for today. So what we're going to do is that we'll start with first step, which is I'm going to show you how to import. Sorry, before starting import, I'm going to show you how to start and open your account in Mendeley. And then we'll have a look at how to import files into your Mendeley account, whether importing a local file or importing a file that you found on the web or importing a file that someone shared with you through email. Second step will be how to view those files in your Mendeley account through all the different platforms, whether you're using your laptop, mobile, or browser. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to export your references in a Microsoft Word document. Let's suppose that this is your research project that you're going to do. So those are the 3 steps of training that we're going to go through step by step. First of all, importing references. Second, viewing references. And then finally, exporting references. So I'm going to ask you, I'll just give you probably half a minute to open Mendeley. And let's say some of you haven't downloaded it yet. Let's just go to Google and type in Mendeley download, and you can find it for Windows and find it for Mac OS. And as soon as you log in, it will ask you to create an account. And after you create an account, the Mendeley app will open, and it will be show something like this, but it will be empty without any articles. So just tell me in the chat section if you've already done that. Let me just open the chat. I'll give you half a minute probably, or a minute, until everyone opens their Mendeley account. Okay, done. Great. Okay. Okay. I think we've reached 30 or 40 participants that are ready. So I'll move on. So this is how the interface will look as soon as you start. On the left-hand side over here, you will see your library. And as soon as you start, your library will be empty. But once you start using the software, you can fill it step by step. On this, if you click on this icon, which is all document, it will show all the documents that you have. And then you can go to recently added, recently read, etc., etc. And below those icons, you can classify your documents into separate files or folders, sorry. So you can see here all those icons in yellow. Those are my personal folders that I've created for my projects. And as soon as you click on any of those folders, this is the list of articles that you have within this folder, okay? So for the sake of this course, and just to clear things up, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it my brand new folder. And you can go ahead and do the same thing, create your own folder and call it whatever you want. So if I click on my brand new folder, it's empty. It doesn't have any articles within it. And we'll start with the first step. Not to confuse you, I'll go back to the roadmap, and we'll start with the first step, which is how am I going to import files into my Mendeley account. First way is to add files to your account through a local file. So let's say you're on your computer, you have a PDF file on your desktop, and you want to add it to your account. You can do this by two ways. First of all, let me just show you a sample file that I have. So this is my download folder, and I have this PDF file that I want to add to my Mendeley account. I can do it by two ways. First, and the simplest way, is to just drag this file and drop it to my folder, and you can see it appear over here. And the beauty of Mendeley is that it automatically extracts all the data of the file that you have entered. So it automatically knows that these are the authors, this is the title, this is the year, etc., etc. And if you click on the article itself, you can see all the metadata or all the details over here. This is the title, these are the authors, the journal, year, volume, issue, and page. So this is the first way of importing a file. And the second way is to go through the app itself, and there's a small icon up in the top left corner that says add. You click on add, and it will open your folders themselves, and you go to download section, and you'll find your article, and you can also add it, open, and it will be automatically added to your Mendeley account as well. I think I've done some annotations on the screen, but I'm not sure how to clear them.
From the top section or the near the sharing, فوق روح على الشيرنج تلاقي clear all drawing, وحتى you can prevent anyone from drawing anything.
I want to prevent myself from drawing.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is the first way of adding a file to your account, which is by simply adding a local file into your Mendeley app. Back to our roadmap. The second way, which is the most common way that I personally use, is adding a file from a web page. So let's say I'm going through Google Scholar and I'm searching for a certain article, or I'm using another database, let's say PubMed, and I'm searching for an article over there, and I want to add articles to my Mendeley account as I'm searching the literature, let's say. For that purpose, what you need to do is you need to install Mendeley's Chrome plugin, which is basically a plugin that allows you to add articles as you are surfing Chrome. You can see it over here. It's called the Mendeley Web Importer. If you haven't downloaded it already, we can do that together. So go to your Mendeley app, go to Tools, and then you can see the second option, which is Install Web Importer. Click on it and install the importer. Again, I'll give you about a minute to install the importer. And once it's installed, you will see it within your Chrome web page up here in the top right corner. And please let me know if you've done that so that I can proceed to the next step. MashaAllah, you guys are fast. We have 2 or 3 that have already done it. But just let's wait for the others. Extension installed, Mujtaba, Layla, Ahmad, Duha, Muhammad. Wait, please. Min hada اللي يقول wait. Hadil. Let's wait for Hadil. Just give us half a minute, for example. Dr. Fahad is asking, is this session recorded? We might as well answer Dr. Fahad's question while we're waiting for the others to download. I think it is, isn't it, Muhammad?
Correct, yes, it's recorded.
Oh, it's recorded, yeah, Dr. Fahad. There's someone asking whether or not, Asma is asking whether this importer works for Safari or not. I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know who in the world is using Safari.
Actually, I use Safari, but I don't think it can work on Safari.
Just kidding, la, don't take it personal. Abdurrahman answered us. He said only Chrome and Firefox. I personally only use Chrome, so this is what I know. We can make the chat section interactive. Whoever knows the answer can answer. I believe some people over here are better than I am in Mendeley, so we can, we'll consider this as an interactive session. So let's go back to the web page. Let's say here I opened PubMed and I'm searching for a certain topic. Let's say COVID-19. Okay, and I clicked on search and I found plenty of articles. Let's say I went into this article and I'm interested in this reference. I want to add it to my Mendeley account. So what you do is you click on your Mendeley Web Importer. It may ask you to sign in, but in my case, I've used it today, so I don't think it's going to ask me to sign in. Let's just give it a second. Okay, so it says over here that it has detected 12 references in this page. So not just this paper, it actually detects all the other papers in the list over here, which are similar articles and cited by, etc., etc. So it detects everything. But let's say, for the sake of explanation, I'm only interested in this article, which starts with perspectives on monoclonal antibody therapy. So I click on it, and then I click on the add button over here. But if I click on the add button, it will add it to my whole library. If I want to add it to a specific folder, I click on the menu icon and I search for the folder that I'm interested in. And in our case, the folder that we've created is called My Brand New Folder. So I'm going to click on it. Here it says it has added I've selected my brand new folder. So I click on add, and you will see a loading icon over here. It says adding. It's adding the reference to my library. And then you can see 2 tick marks, reference tick and PDF tick. What this means is that it has added the details of this article as a reference that I can cite later. And it has also added the PDF file of this reference as well, because some articles are free, others are not. If the article is not free, it won't add the PDF, it will only add the reference itself. Let's search for an article that's not free, just to demonstrate. I think all COVID articles are actually free, so all have PDF with them. Okay, let's say this article, it says PDF not found. So we don't have the PDF of this article, but I still can add it to my brand new folder. It will add it as a reference only without PDF. So it says reference. The only difference is that if you add PDF and reference, you can read the PDF file within your Mendeley account. If you only add reference, you won't be able to read it because it has not downloaded the file to your Mendeley account. So this doesn't only work on PubMed alone. It can work in any other search engine. Let's say over here in Google Scholar, I chose this article and it opened over here. I can again click on Mendeley Web Importer and it will tell me that it has detected this article, and it will ask without PDF, and it will ask me to add it to my brand new folder. And I click on add, and you can see here a tick mark. So I've added this article as well to my brand new folder. So back to our app, we are supposed to see all the articles that we've added over here, but we don't see any. And the reason why is that we haven't synced yet. So there's a button over here that says sync. Just click on it. And what it does is that it syncs your web app to the database of Mendeley, and it will extract all the articles that you have added. So those are the 3 articles we have just added. If you click on each article, you will see the details appear on your right-hand side over here. And this is the second way of adding an article to your Mendeley account, which is through a web page. And then, as I mentioned earlier, in my experience, this is the most common way that I personally use. Back to our roadmap, we're done with the first way of importing, which is importing from a local file. And we're done with the second way of importing, which is importing from a web page. Now I'm going to demonstrate the third way, which is importing through your email. And I'm not talking about if you're opening your email from your laptop, because if you're opening your email from your laptop, you will simply download the PDF file from your email and drag it and drop it to your web app. But I'm talking about another scenario that's very common, which is if you open the PDF file from your email account on your mobile phone. And this happens a lot because 90% of the time you're checking your email on your mobile phone, not through your laptop. So let me just show you, I've done some screenshots from my mobile phone to show you the steps on how to add an article that you have received on your email. And in order to be able to do this, you need to download the Mendeley iPhone app on your phone in order to do it. And I think there's also an app for Android as well. So let's say someone sent you an article, hey, check this article, and it's attached to the email. You click on it. And then when you open the article, you will see a small share button here in the down left corner. And then when the sharing options open, you will see all the apps through which you can share. You will see Mendeley listed with those apps. And sometimes you won't see it in the list. Click on more. And if you click on more, you will see all the list of apps that you have on your phone. You will see Mendeley. Click on copy to Mendeley. It will immediately transfer you to the Mendeley app, and it will load. After that, it will add that article to your Mendeley account immediately. And then it will ask you if you want to add it to a specific folder. So you'll click on this small icon down here to add it to a specific folder, and then go to add to. And after clicking on add to, it will show you all your folders. You go to the folder that you want. Let's say for the sake of explanation, we want to pick our brand new folder over here. And then after you open your brand new folder, it will show you the content of your brand new folder, and then click on choose. And then your article will be added immediately to that folder. This is a scenario that I wanted to stress on because lots of times you are on your phone checking your email, and sometimes some people send you some articles that are relevant to your research projects, and you don't want to wait until you go home and download the article from your email on your laptop and add it to your Mendeley account. You can do that from your mobile phone immediately. So back to our roadmap, we've gone through the three ways through which we can import files to our Mendeley account. Number one, adding a local file. Number two, from a web page. And number three, from your email account. The second step would be how to view and manage those files within your account, either through laptop, through mobile, or through the browser. But I'm going to stop for a minute or two to drink some water and also to answer some questions if anyone has a question about the steps that we've reached so far. Okay, if someone has any questions, you can ask them in the chat box, and we'll try to answer them.
For now, Dr. Adi, we will allow for the questions to be in the chat. وat the end يمكن we can ask people to raise their hands بعد ما نخلص التريننج to ask questions live يعني will be also
yes, sure.
This is great way.
في ولاء ممكن تخلي الكاميرا على الشاشة. Just to double check, محمد, were you seeing everything clear while I was explaining ولا كان في issue?
Yeah, it's perfect. Well, actually, I'm joining the meeting from two devices, one as a participant and one as a host, and I'm seeing well everything as well. أعتقد you can do this ولا directly from your personal view. You can only allow for the screen. You can put the speaker on the side, speaker on the top. I have answered her question.
Okay. في question. I'm not able to add the articles from the website. Please repeat. هذا فيصل. Okay, Faisal. Let me go. If you can just let us know what the problem that you're facing exactly, Faisal. If the problem is that you don't see the icon, this means that it's not installed, so make sure you install it. If you can see the icon over here, the Mendeley icon, but you cannot download the article itself, sometimes you're opening a page that doesn't contain any articles. So after you click on the icon, make sure that you see a list of articles over here. طيب فيصل. Ali is asking a question. Can you share references through Mendeley itself? I'm not sure. What I usually do is you can invite people to be collaborators with you on the same file. So this is what I usually do, but let me check if there are any share options within Mendeley itself. I don't see any, I'm not sure if you can. Of course, from your mobile phone, you can do that, but from the web app over here, I don't see an option. I'm not sure. Khulud is asking how to add Mendeley icon on my browser. As I mentioned, from the Mendeley app, go to Tools and click on Install Web Importer. The icon is called Web Importer. Athir is asking a question, what is the difference between EndNote and Mendeley? The reason why I'm not familiar with EndNote these days. I've used it 2-3 years ago. The reason why I changed from EndNote to Mendeley is because the web app for EndNote was not free. EndNote allowed you only to use the free account through a browser, but you could not download the web app unless you purchase a subscription. And this was a problem with me because sometimes you use your reference management software in places where you don't have an internet connection. So that's why I shifted to Mendeley. Another issue with EndNote, I remember, I'm not sure if they fixed it or not, is that they had a problem with retrieving the metadata of an article. So let's say I have a PDF file and I dragged it and dropped it into the EndNote account. It could not extract where the authors are, what are the keywords, the title is. But they've probably fixed it now, I'm not sure. Amal is asking a question, is the data stored safely in Mendeley or do I need to keep the PDF files somewhere else? They give you 2 gigabytes of storage, and I personally don't use some external storage for my PDF file. I keep them within my Mendeley account, which is 2 gigabytes, so I don't save them elsewhere. Okay, we're done with the questions right now, just to keep up with the time. I'll move on to the second step and we can answer further questions later. So let's go back to our roadmap. So we're done with the first step, which is importing articles to your Mendeley account. Now I'm going to go through how to view those articles and how to manage them either through your laptop, through your mobile phone, or through the browser. And what I mean, and the difference that I mean between laptop and browser is laptop means viewing them through the Mendeley software or the Mendeley app that you've downloaded it, on your laptop. And through the browser, let's say, for instance, you're in your hospital and you don't have your laptop with you and you're using a public computer, you can log into Mendeley through Chrome and use your account and manage your references as well. So I'll start with the first step, which is managing Mendeley through your laptop. We'll go back to our app. And this is how it looks. Now you guys are familiar with it. On the left-hand side, you can see the folders, and we've chosen the My Brand New folder over here, and we have our references outlined over here. And if we click on each reference, we can see all the details over here. So the first thing that I usually do is that I read my references or my PDF files from within the Mendeley app. And this step you can only do if you have the PDF file for your reference. As I mentioned, when we were importing from PubMed, that sometimes you can only import the reference itself because the article is not free, and sometimes you can import the reference as well as the PDF file. So if you have the PDF file, you can read it. If you don't have it, you won't be able to read it, of course. So how can I know that I do have the PDF file or not? You will see a small icon, PDF icon that shows next to the article itself. And this tells you that you do have the PDF file available. So for this article, I do have it available. For this article over here, I don't have it. Sometimes you can see another icon, which is this one over here. This means that the file is available, but I haven't downloaded it. So if I click on it, which I've just done, it will download it to your account, and you can it will open immediately. So now it turned to PDF instead of the previous icon. So if you click on the article itself, it will open. Now I'm viewing a PDF file from within my Mendeley account. I can read it and I can highlight and annotate the article. Let's say I'm going through the background information over here and I'm interested in this sentence. I want to highlight it. Approximately 20% of those cases require amputation. So I've highlighted this sentence. I can also add a note. Let's say I want this sentence that I'm going to use it later. I can just add a note, use this sentence in my discussion. So, and then you will see the note icon over here. And the beauty of this feature is that while you're going through the references that are relevant to your research project, you can just highlight all the areas that you need when you're going to write your manuscript. And once the step of manuscript writing in your research project comes, you don't need to go back and go through all your references to find out what you need to write and what you need to leave. You've already read everything and highlighted it all in one place. And of course, you've got all the other features of viewing a PDF file. You can zoom, you can flip, etc., etc. I'm not going to go through all those features. Another beautiful thing about Mendeley is that you can filter your files by many ways. And this is possible through this section. So you can filter it by author keywords. You can filter your articles by authors, by tags, or by publications. For example, let's filter by authors. Here, if I click on filter by authors, it will show me all the authors of all the articles that I have in this file. So let's say I want to see only the articles that this researcher has published, Fang Ping. I click on it and it will show me only the articles that he has published. If you only have a folder that has a few articles, let's say 4 articles, this feature may not be useful. But let's say you're viewing all your documents and you want to filter them. Let's say you have a friend of yours or whatever. You can see my name here. You click on someone's name. You can see the articles that a certain author has authored within your whole complete list. And you can also filter by keywords. And another interesting way that you can filter your documents by is tags. So tags are those keywords that you personally give to your documents so that you can make it easy for you to reach them in the future. So let's say I want to give a tag that's called glaucoma, that in which all the articles that are relevant to glaucoma are included in. So I'm swifting through all my articles, and whenever I find an article that is related to glaucoma, I go to the tags section over here and I add glaucoma. Okay, so this is another article about glaucoma, tags glaucoma. And this allows you to build articles pertaining to a specific topic over time. So whenever you find an article related to this topic and you give it that tag, you will easily find them. Especially if you are you're working on plenty of research projects and you have 1 or 2 papers in each research project that are actually related to each other, and you want to link them in one place. For instance, in my example, the glaucoma tag. So I have 4 projects on glaucoma, for example, and I want from one click, I want to reach all the articles that are related to glaucoma. So now I can see over here, I have the glaucoma tag. If I click on it, you will see all the articles that are under the glaucoma tag. So this is pretty useful. Okay. Let's go back to our brand new folder. Those are the basic features of using or viewing and managing your documents within the Mendeley app. Of course, there are plenty of other features that you will find as you go on and use Mendeley step by step. But just as a general introduction for the sake of this lecture, these are the main things that you will probably need most of the time. So back to our roadmap. I've already gone through viewing Mendeley through your laptop. The second step will be going through Mendeley through your mobile phone. And for this purpose, I've also done some screenshots to make explanation easier. So this is from my personal phone. I've downloaded the Mendeley app. Once I click on it, it opens and it shows you your library, same arrangement in your screen in front of you and the folders that you have created. And you click on the folder that you're interested in. Let's say over here, we're interested in our brand new folder. And then it will show you all the articles that you have within the folder. And you can click on any article that you want to read And once you click on it, it will initially show you the details of the article. And if you want to read it in a PDF format, you go to Read Article, and then it will open the article itself in a PDF format, and you can go through it, you can annotate, you can do all the things that I've just shown you that you can do on your laptop. You can do it on the go while you are on your mobile phone. Okay, so this was about how to view your articles through your mobile phone. I'll wrap up this section by talking about how to view your Mendeley account through your browser. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say you're traveling, or you're visiting someone, or you're in your hospital and you don't have your laptop with you, and you want to access your Mendeley account on a public computer. You can simply go to Mendeley website and access your account or your library, and you will see all your data over there. So let's do that briefly. So you open your browser and type in Mendeley, and then I think /library. Yes, /library. You can also go to Mendeley website and you will see a button that takes you to the library, but just to make things shorter, you click on mendeley.com and then library. Of course, it will initially ask you to log in, but my login details are saved over here. That's why I opened my account immediately. You will see on the left-hand side all your folders, or your library itself as it is. Let's go to our brand new folder. And these are the articles that we have in our brand new folder. And as we've mentioned and demonstrated on your web app and on your phone, you can click on any one of them, and then it will open your PDF viewer, and you can see your article in a PDF format, and you can do all the things that I've just mentioned on your web app. You can annotate, you can highlight, you can add notes, etc., etc. Okay, so we're done with the second step of our roadmap, which is how to view your references. And the third and final step, which is actually the most important step, and using Mendeley, which is adding those references as you are writing your manuscript. And we'll stop for about 2-3 minutes, take some questions, and then move on. But before I do that, before I stop for questions, I'm going to ask you to install a plugin. So in order for Mendeley to edit your Microsoft document, you need to give it a permission through your computer. And this is possible by installing the Microsoft plugin. So you go to your Mendeley web app, click on Tools, and then you will see the third option, which will say in your device, Install Microsoft Word plugin. In my case, it says uninstall because I already have it installed. So what I want you all to do, if you haven't done it already, click on Tools and click on Install Microsoft Word plugin. And by this way, you will give Mendeley access to your Microsoft editor so that you can add references to your document as you're working. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. And in the meantime, I'll answer some questions. Can we reach watch folder? Dr. Amal is asking a question, can we reach watch folder? I'm not sure what that question means. If you can rephrase it, please. Faisal is asking, I have downloaded the importer and I see the icon, I press add, I saw the articles, but not able to sync with the app. I'm not sure why that's happening with you, Faisal. I see the icon, I pressed add, I saw articles, but not able to sync. Maybe, I'm not sure how to solve this issue. If you can try logging in again to your web app and then installing the importer again, it probably work. Ahmed has answered the question that someone asked earlier. You can share it through tools, then invite colleagues. This is, he's answering the question that was raised by Ali earlier, which is how to share references by colleagues. Rakan, can we do a citation from other web page as Wikipedia? Yes, you can. Let me show you, Rakan, how to do so. So let's say COVID-19 Wikipedia. And then here's an article about COVID-19 in Saudi Arabia. So if I click on the Mendeley Web Importer, it will show me 84 references that have been detected on this page. Some of them are news articles, some of them are statistics from the ministry, etc., etc. I can choose whatever I want. Let's say I want to choose this, which is a news article, and I'll click on add, and it will say that it has added it to my library. I'll go back to my web app, I'll sync. It will show now over here. Here it is. And then over here, if you are arranging your article, the first question that it asks you is, what is the type of this reference? And here it says newspaper article. It could be a magazine, it could be a film, it could be a book, etc., etc. In scientific writing, the majority of your articles will be just like this one, journal articles. But let's say, for instance, you want to cite something else, it's available over there as well. Samira, not all the article details appear at my Mendeley account. The majority of time, 90% of the time, all the article details will be extracted to your account. In some very rare instances, sometimes you click on the account and there is no volume. Let's say, for example, over here, there's no volume, there's no issue for whatever reason. Sometimes the page doesn't actually contain, or that journal doesn't actually contain. So what Mendeley does is actually it gives you a warning in yellow, and it tells you that these details need reviewing. Have a look at them. Sometimes some articles actually do not have, some journals do not have issues and volumes. That's why it's empty. So if you're sure that those details are correct, you need to check them yourself. Click on correct. If you find a mistake, you just correct it. You can edit any of those icons and then click on the details are correct. Khalid, I understand Faisal's problem. After adding an article in your computer, press sync so it can be downloaded on the internet, then open the app in your mobile phone and you'll find it. Okay, Tariq came late, welcome. I'm sorry, can you just give a quick kindly why should I use this app? What is the benefit? It's only making things in one place, and thank you. I'm really sorry, Tariq, answering your question takes time. Maybe if you can go back and watch the recording, because I've mentioned at the beginning that why I mentioned the reasons why you need to use an app. Two comments, and this is true. People have mentioned that for those that are affiliated with universities, if you are a university student, you can download EndNote for free through the Saudi Digital Library, and that's true. It doesn't matter whatever. I'm not here making advertisement for Mendeley itself. You can use whatever. You can use Zotero. It's free and it's similar to Mendeley. You can use anything as long as you are good in arranging your references. Abdurrahman Abdurrahman Jasir gave us a nice tip. If you click on Control plus R, it will refresh your page and it will add articles immediately to your library. Khulud, she downloaded EndNote, but the license has ended. Probably that's a reason to use Mendeley. Okay, so it's 9:20. Let me go to the final step, which is the most important step in this lecture, which is how to export your references to Microsoft Word as you are writing your research article. So I'll open Microsoft Word and I'm going to enlarge the screen so that you all can see it nice and clear. Let's say I've started to write my research project. We've called our project My Brand New Folder, and then now writing the introduction. Okay, hello world, this is my very first sentence. Okay, so now I've written my first sentence and I want to give a reference to that sentence. Within Microsoft Word, I go to references, and if you've installed the Microsoft plugin, as I've mentioned earlier, you will see Mendeley icons appear over here. So go to Insert Citation, and then a small pop-up will open. You have two options. I'll go through them one by one. First option is to go to Mendeley and then choose the article that you want to cite, and I'll do that. So click on Go to Mendeley. It takes us to Mendeley. Let's suppose I've chosen this article, and then I want to cite it. So I click on Cite. You can see it over here. So now it has sent the citation to Microsoft Word. I go to Microsoft Word and I can see it added over here. You can see a small number 1 over here. Okay. Let's say, for example, I want to continue. I hope you are all still hanging on. So I'm done with the second sentence. And now I'm going to insert the citation through the second way. You can insert the citation without going to Mendeley, is by actually searching for the article itself. Let's say I know the title of the article. So let's say I've searched for COVID, and this is the article that we had about COVID. So I click on it, and then it will add it immediately, and I'll click on OK. And here it has added the article. I've actually chosen the same article twice. Let me choose another article. Okay. So here it says number 2. So here is reference number 2. And then you can also add 2 references at the same time. So let's say you have a sentence that has 2 references. You go to Mendeley and I want to choose this one and this one. I highlight both and I click on Cite, and it will add 2 references right away. And then finally, I am adding my final sentence, which is this. Okay, so let's go to Mendeley and choose this one this time. And here is my final sentence. Once you're done, you've added all your references. You go to references, and then you want to add the list of your references over here. You put the cursor below references, and then you go over here and click on Insert. Just a second. You click on Insert Bibliography. Okay. So what this does is it gives you a list of all the references that you have cited over here. And then you can now manipulate the arrangement of your sentences and your references the way you want. It will immediately adjust itself over here. So let's say, for example, I've sent this to my supervisor and he doesn't want sentence number 2. So you've deleted sentence number 2. The sequence will automatically be fixed. Voila, nothing has changed. I think you need to refresh, yes. So this is 1, this is still 3 because we need to refresh. Yeah, so now it changed. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then finally 4. And the arrangement has changed as well. And even if let's say, for example, I moved this sentence from here and I have added it in the beginning, the sequence automatically changes from 1, 2, 3 according to the new version of your article. Okay, so this is the beauty. This is the main reason why I like Mendeley. It makes writing so easy. You can do endless versions, endless revisions, and you don't need to worry about how to arrange your references. And another beautiful feature is that it will automatically arrange the styling of your work according to whatever the journal that you're submitting to requires. So let's say I'm submitting to a journal that requires AMA citation style. It will immediately change the way the references are written and the way they are arranged, etc., etc. Sometimes if the journal is known, you can even find it within the list. So if you go to citation styles, let's say I'm searching from a specific journal, the British Journal of Ophthalmology, you just click on it and then click on use style, done. And then it will immediately change the style to the style that is required or mandated by the British Journal of Ophthalmology. And life is easy by this way. You don't have to worry about the headache of arranging your references. That's basically it. I'm glad that we've finished on time. We still have 3 minutes to take some questions. Muhammad, if you want to add some notes before going on to questions, please.
Thank you so much. That was really illustrating. I think you made it very easy, to be honest, and simple. Khalina, let's start taking the questions. If someone would like to raise his hand or add some questions.
Okay. Let me go through some questions. Sarah here is asking, can I share a whole folder with another user? Yes, you can. There's actually a feature that's called groups. So we have, if you look on the left-hand side over here, we have my library, all my folders. Then there's a feature that's called groups. Groups are basically places where you can share similar material pertaining to a specific research project with other Mendeley users. Sarah, this is another Sarah Al-Hadloul. Mendeley was not able to find Microsoft Word. What's the problem? Sometimes if your Microsoft Word version is a bit old, you may need to update your Microsoft Word, so make sure it's compatible. If you're not sure, go to your Microsoft Word preferences or settings and check the version, and then Google it and make sure it's compatible with the Mendeley plugin. Dr. Amal is asking, can you explain watch folder? I'm not sure what she means by watch folder actually. So you can, Manal is asking, can we share library with colleagues and co-authors? I've already answered that question. Dr. Amal, you can add watch folder, so Mendeley. I think Ahmed is participating in answering questions. Shukran. Thank you very much, Ahmed. Abdul Musa is asking, what if I change my account email? Can I transfer? Yes, you can. There's an export and import option. Even if, let's say, you are working previously on EndNote and you want to transfer to Mendeley, you can do that easily. Abir Al-Ghafairi is asking, what's the difference between RefWorks and Mendeley? I'm not sure. I haven't used RefWorks before. If RefWorks does what we are doing right now, then you're good with RefWorks.
Dr. Adi?
Yes.
I think Dr. Abdullah Al-Fawaz is asking, can you please repeat the last part in slow mode? I think maybe we're fast. If everyone's agreeing, maybe quickly we can go through with the word, the sentences and adding citation to work it.
Okay. So I'll delete all this and I'll refresh. So now my document is empty. Let's suppose that I'm going to start to write my research article, and this is the introduction. So I'm writing the introduction. Hello world. This is my very first sentence. Okay, so this is the first sentence I've written. I know that this sentence is supported by a specific reference that's available in my Mendeley library, and I want to fetch that reference from my Mendeley library. So while the cursor is immediately after the sentence, I go to the Microsoft Word toolbar and I click on references, and then it will show me the Mendeley icons. And then there's an icon over here that says insert or edit citation. So this icon allows me to add a reference to this location that I've chosen. So I click on insert, and from the pop-up, I go to Mendeley, and it will open my library. So here I can see all the articles that I have in my library, and I choose the article that I want to cite for the purpose of that sentence that I've just written. Let's suppose it's this one. So I've highlighted it, I've chosen it, and then I go up over here and I click on Cite. So what this button does, it attaches this reference to that sentence. So I click on Cite, I go back to, where'd it go? I go back to my Word document, and you can see here number 1. What this number 1 means is that, okay, I've attached the reference. It's the first reference, so that's why it's given number 1, and it is that article that I've chosen. Then you can go again, writing, this is my second reference over the second sentence, let's say sentence over here. Now I've written another sentence and I want to bring another article as a reference. I go again with the same process. I keep the cursor over here where I want the second reference to be. I click on insert citation. I go to my library and then choose whatever other article I want to cite. And then I repeat the process by clicking on Cite. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you can see as you are changing, the changes are made automatically by the software down here. If you change the arrangement, it will change automatically. And if I want to change the style from one journal to another, let's say I'm submitting to a journal that requires APA or Vancouver, for example, I click on it and then I click on refresh, and the style is immediately changed to the style of the journal that is required. I hope that answers the question. I'd like to send some greetings to Dr. Abdullah Fawaz. I didn't know that he's with us. Dr. Abdullah is a mentor and a teacher, and I'm really happy to hear that he's with us here today. Let's go back to the questions. Ali is asking, how can we choose the style of references or citation? I think I've just did that. So here from the Word document, you can see here there's an icon that's called style. You can change the style over here to whatever style that you want. Ned Al-Madi says it shows the last name of the authors with the year, no numbering. Is there a way to change it? I'm not sure, Neda, what you mean exactly. Do you mean over here or within the web app? Because over here within Word document, it arranges it according to the style that you have chosen. So you cannot change this. You can change it, but if you click on the refresh button, it will automatically fix it to whatever style you've chosen. But within the web app itself, you can change sequence and of the authors, the year, etc., etc. The details over here, you can change them yourself. Okay. I was asking if it works on iPad. I'm not sure. I'm using Mendeley on laptop and mobile phone only. Tariq is saying, I got it. Thank you. Okay, I'm really happy to hear that, Tariq. Huda, can you repeat how to cite two references at the same time? Okay. So let's say we are over here in front of this sentence that says hello world, and I want to cite two references, not one. I go to insert citation, I go to Mendeley, and let's suppose that I want to cite this reference and this one as well. I select them both. If you're on a Mac, you click on Command to select both. If you're on Microsoft, I think you need to click Shift or some other button. And if you have both of them highlighted, you click on Cite, and it will immediately insert two citations next to each other. I hope that answers the question, Huda. When I want Harvard style, how can I choose it, Haifa? You can choose it, as I told you, from style. All these styles that you can think of are available. Style, Amani is saying, thank you very much. Thank you for attending, Amani. Iyad is asking how are we able to do a citation from a textbook. As I mentioned earlier, if the textbook is in a PDF version online, you can import it the same way, and then from over here, you edit the type of reference to book, and then it will ask you about the details of that book, the year, the publisher, etc., etc. Tarfa, thank you. I'm not sure, Muhammad, we're 6 minutes past our time.
I just want to ask if you have few more minutes to answer the questions. Otherwise,
I don't mind at all. I just want to respect times of others. I don't mind staying.
It's anyone is busy and he's free to leave. Like we will take like 5 more minutes to tackle any questions. Actually, I have personally I have a question that I couldn't find an answer for Mendeley. Sorry to interrupt your chat answering. In Mendeley, when you go to the article, when you select an article, at the end on the site, at the details, you will find something called other settings, unpublished work, exclude from Mendeley Web Catalog. I'm not sure if you passed by this before or, do you see it at the end?
Unpublished work, exclude from when, but I haven't passed by this before. I'm not sure what it's supposed to mean. No, I don't know.
Okay. So you can go back to the questions, and now I'll open the floor for the if people wants to raise their hands.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So we can make it live session interactive.
Rola is asking another question. كيف أغير تصميم المرجع من أرقام إلى اسم المؤلف والسنة داخل النص? If you want to change this over here, you can change it manually. But as soon as you click refresh, it will go back to whatever settings that are saved within Mendeley. So if you want to change, it's better to change from here. Because whatever is written over here in the reference section obeys the style that you have chosen. Faisal says you are amazing. Thank you very much, Faisal. You are amazing for coming here today. I can't find Harvard style in Mendeley. This is a question from Haifa. I'm not sure, honestly. Let me check. I'm assuming that all the styles are available. It's available here. Cite them right, 10th edition, Harvard. This one has been deprecated, but this one's available. Okay. Rola, you can. No, he's answering a question. Hamad, how can I do Cite in first paragraph by APA? As I mentioned, you can change the style from here. So here's APA. You just change it and click on refresh, and it will change automatically. You can see here APA is mentioning the author's name within the text, so it changed automatically. Abdullah Al-Musa is asking how to add a new citation style. Yeah, sometimes this is a very important issue. Sometimes you don't have, let's say some journals have very specific styles that are not available within the Mendeley app. There's a way where you can enter the URL over here and then click on download. It will extract the style that you want to add to your Mendeley account. Because sometimes when you go to the author section in a journal, it will give you the style itself that's used as a downloadable file, so you can upload it over here. Dr. Majid Al-Ubaylan, excellent. Thank you, Dr. Majid. I'm really happy to know that you are here. I've got a lot of my mentors attending today. I really appreciate their presence. So thank you very much.
Dr. Adi, would you like to go ahead to the raise hand?
Okay, yeah, yes, sure.
I'll start with Sarah Al-Hadloul. I'll unmute you.
Okay.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
حياكم الله جميعا. شكرا لك جزيلا دكتور.
مثلا تبعد عن speaker if you are using 2 devices أو شيء زي كذا, you can mute one of them.
طفوا الراديو واسمعنا من الجوال.
كذا أحسن؟
أي بالضبط. ايوه كده افضل يا دكتوره، اتفضلي. دكتوره ساره.
معنا الدكتورة.
طيب انميوت هير فور سكند، بعدين جيت باك تو هير. خلينا نشوف عبد الله الموسى. ما ادري الدكتور عبد الله الموسى.
السلام عليكم.
دكتور عبد الله، انا قاعد اقول عبد الله.
الدكتور عبد الله.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم
السلام دكتور، حياك الله.
حياك الله عدي، الله يعطيك العافيه، ما شاء الله. very nice explanation. بس كنت بسأل عن الادنج، لما لقيت مثلا بريتش مثلا جورنال اوف اوفثالمولوجي، ايش المقصود باليو ار ال؟ يعني في نفس الجورنال ستايل تخش على موقع يعني الجورنال وتحصله يعني عندهم
exactly. Let's say for example انك انت تبغى you will submit a paper to the American Journal of Ophthalmology. في الاوثر section في الامريكان جورنال اوف اوبثالمولوجي they will mention وش الستايل اللي يستخدمونه. ممكن يقول لك احنا نستخدم AMA، خلاص تروح تختار AMA من مندلي. بعض الجورنالز لا، يقول لك احنا نستخدم specific referencing way or specific referencing style، ويعطيك مجلد تحمله يقول لك هذا الفورمات حقنا حمله على لابتوب.
إذا حصلت مثلا بي جي او مثلا حصلت عندهم اند نوت، ما عندهم مندلي،
احيانا يجي يذكر لك سبيسيفيك، لكن الفايلز اللي تبعا نوت كومباتبل مع مندلي، فتقدر ترفعها على مندلي ما في مشكله.
الله يعطيك العافيه.
الله يعافيك، وفرصه سعيده. اشوفك على خير.
طيب الجو تو ذا نيكست ون. محمد، خلينا نشوف دكتور ساره طلعت ولا لا.
اذا سمحت في سؤال من سليمان. اول شيء انا شفت الدكتوره العنود الساعاتي، اوجه لها تحيه، استاذتي الدكتوره عنود. سليمان كان سأل سؤال مهم، يقول لك can we use Mendeley for words on Google. احيانا واحد يكتب على ما هو مايكروسوفت وورد بس، يكتب على words for Google، وبعض الناس يكتب على pages اللي هو تبع ماك. unfortunately Mendeley ما عندهم بلجن للسوفت ويرز هذه، فما تقدر تستخدم. as far as I know up to recently كنت شيكت المعلومه هذه، هل هم ناويين يحدثون ويكون موجوده الله الاعلم. لكن if you are going to write a research project وتبغى تستخدم مندلي، ما لك الا مايكروسوفت وورد.
طيب
there's someone raising ساره الهذلول.
خلينا نشوف دكتوره ساره.
حياك الله دكتور.
تفضلي.
Thank you so much for this informative and insightful session. I really appreciate it والله. سؤالي كالتالي دكتور، ما أدري إذا تعرف البريطانيين ولا لا، بس هم مرة دقيقين بالنقطة والفاصلة. فلما أخلص الشغل كله هل أحتاج أرجع للريفرنس ليست وأتأكد من كل نقطة وفاصلة، ولا خلاص مندلي مضمون؟
هو مندلي مضمون، لكن what you need to make sure، هذه برضو كنت غلطة مرة، أرسلت بيبر وطلع فيه حوسة اللوكيشن اللي الواحد يحطه أثناء كتابة المراجع. كيف؟ الآن لاحظي مثلا الجملة هذه، سكرين حقتي واضحة صح؟
أيوة.
طيب الآن كتبت هيلو وورد وحطيت نقطة بعدين الريفرنس صح؟
صحيح.
أحيانا لا، المجلة تقول لك الريفرنس المفروض إنه يصير قبل النقطة ما هو بعد النقطة، ومندلي doesn't take care of it، لأنه مندلي بيضيف الريفرنس في المكان اللي أنت حطيت فيه الكورسر أو الفارة وقت إضافة الريفرنس. ف this is something that you need to pay attention to.
Thank you so much. How about the reference list itself?
لا reference list itself مندلي، يعني you don't need to worry about anything that's beneath here. طالما اخترتي الستايل الصحيح you don't need to worry about.
Thank you so much doctor.
والله يحييك.
طيب دكتور مجتبى الخميس الانميوتيو. دكتور مجتبى.
السلام عليكم، صوتي واضح؟
تفضل.
اهلا. اول شيء حاب اشكرك دكتور على المحاضره الرهيبه، يعني جدا استفدنا من اللي هو المحاضره. وحاب اسال بالنسبه هل اقدر استخدم مندلي للباوربوينت مثلا اذا بسوي بوستر او شيء كذا، ولا فقط محصور على الوورد؟
اللي اعرفه انه وكنت مشيك قبل فتره ما في بلجن للمندلي الا في مايكروسوفت وورد، لكن الطريقه اذا انت بتودي بوستر المؤتمر انك تكتب التكست في وورد وبعدين تنسخ الريفرنسز وتحطها في بوستر في الباوربوينت. بس بلجن ما في مو موجود.
يعطيك العافيه دكتور.
حياك الله يا موسى.
طيب دكتور امل، دكتوره امل.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
شكرا جزيلا على المحاضرة الجميلة دي يا دكتور. كان ليا سؤال خاص بالواتش فولدر. هو لما بنيجي نضيف فولدر على المندلي بيعطينا في السهم اللي موجود على الاد حاجة اسمها واتش فولدر. المفروض ان الواتش فولدر انا بعمل فيه تزامن ما بين الجهاز او الحاجات اللي موجودة عندي على الجهاز على سطح المكتب او على الهارد وما بين البرنامج في فولدر معين. فانا بصراحه جربت كتير ان انا اعمل تزامن بين فولدرين، واحد على الجهاز وواحد على البرنامج، ما بتصلحش معايا خالص، مش عارفه اظبطها نهائي. فهل ممكن حضرتك تقول لنا الواتش فولدر ازاي اخلي التزامن ما بين فولدر معين على البرنامج وفولدر معين على الجهاز، بحيث اني لو ضفت اي فايل اي بحث اي دوكيومنت على احد الفولدرين يتم التزامن تلقائي او اوتوماتيكي بين الاثنين؟ شكرا.
العفو. أنا أتوقع أني فهمت السؤال لكن ما أعرف إجابته الصراحة. أنت تتوقع تسألي عن الفيتشر هذا اللي هي واتش فولدر صح؟
أيوة يا دكتور.
ما قد استخدمتها ما أدري والله إيش هي البيربس أساسا من الواتش فولدر. لمزامنة ملفين أنا أحط الملفات هنا أضيفها وتكون مزامنة ما بين الأكاونتس كلها. إذا في أحد
هي بتكون متزامنة بين الأكاونتس كلها، لكن لو أنا صدفت إني حطيت على فولدر معين على الجهاز حطيت فيه أي دوكيومنت هتتحط على طول مباشرة أو هيتعمل تزامن عليها في الأول دوكيومنتس مش في فولدر معين على البرنامج.
فهمت السؤال. ما عندي علم والله، ما أعرف كيف. لو في أحد من الحضور عنده الإجابة. فهمت سؤالك، قصدك إنه لو إنه فيه الواتش فولدر يجيب لك من فولدرز عندك في الجهاز، فأنت تبغين يدخله في واحدة من الفولدرز اللي أنت منظمتها داخل المنيو.
بالضبط، تمام كده.
بس ما أعرف الإجابة. إذا في أحد ممكن يدخل معنا عند فكرة. المعذرة منك.
شكرا لحضرتك. شكرا.
فيصل يرفع يده، يمكن يعرف عنده إجابة فيصل على السؤال هذا. محمد شو الوضع؟
اصلا كان do you have more minutes ولا لا؟ صراحه مره متحمس الوضع. دقيقه خلينا نشوف دكتوره هيفا. she's asking دكتوره هيفا if you raise your hand I can see you from the participant. فيصل go ahead. I'm unmuting you. ما اعرف يقول المايك مقفل او
فيصل رافع ايده هي.
السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته. مساك الله بالخير.
هلا فيصل.
اول شيء اشكرك دكتور عدي على البرزنتيشن الفانتاستيك جدا والمفيد صراحه. I will deviate you a little bit من البرنامج المندلي. Any recommendations for proofreaders يعني اي ويب سايت يعني language editing before submission؟ اذا في مثلا recommendation لويب سايت اونلاين بسبسكريبشنز ولا فري ممكن تفيدنا فيها؟ وهذا السؤال. يعطيك العافيه دكتور.
انا استخدم جرامرلي. والنقطه الثانيه الانستيتيوت اللي انا عندنا بروف ريدر الصراحه، نرسل له ويراجع لنا ويصحح لنا الماتيريال لغويا يعني. ف as a starting point ممكن تستخدم جرامرلي، هذا التصحيح اللغوي. اذا تتكلم عن تصحيح البلاجيرزم، فيه البرنامج اللي انا استخدمه اسمه ايثنتيكيت. احيانا انت تكتب sentences وتكون similar لحاجه موجوده في الليترشر وتعتبر بلاجيرزم، فهذا يعطيك تشيكينج اسمه ايثنتيكيت. بكتبه في السبيلنج في
حتى جرامرلي عادي. جرامرلي في عنده فيتشر بلاجيرزم. I've tried it وكويسه، وان شاء الله we're planning to يعني make a presentation عن موضوع البلاجيرزم. بس good write it here. طيب
والله فكره زينه يكون عليها presentation. طبعا في احد حاط دولارات ايثنتيكيت من جامعتنا مجانا، فاللي عنده اكسس سعودي ديجيتال اب المفروض انه ايثنتيكيت مجانا. جرامرلي فعلا في paid feature وفي free feature، ممكن تستخدم الفري feature.
ما ادري الفري فيه بلاجريزم او يعني محدد كذا، بس انه حتى معقول سعره يعني. طيب اخر سؤال من المايكس حاخذ من الدكتوره هيفا، لان من اول رانكتو، وبعدين we will finish with the chat and we will conclude.
تعبت ويدها رافعتها الدكتوره.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام، تفضل دكتور هيفا.
أول شيء أشكرك دكتور، صراحة كنت متحمسة للتطبيق لأنه أنا كنت على إند نوت، يعني توني أشوف فيديوهات عشان أعرف البرنامج، وحسيت هذا أفضل منه بكثير. فأنا عندي سؤالين أكشلي صراحة. أكثر دقة يعني من وجهة نظرك أو من خبرتك، إند نوت أو مندلي، لأنه أنت عارف الجامعات البريطانية مرة دقيقين على هذا الشيء. اثنين، إنه أنا لو سويت هايلايت لجملة معينة أو شيء معين أو سويت تاج، أوكي، كوتيشن فور إكزامبل، طيب، وحبيت أسوي الإكسبورت وورد تبعي أو ملفي، معلش إذا أمكن تقدر تشرحها أو عمليا إذا كان في إمكانية.
إذا سويت هايلايت وأنا قاعد أقرأ PDF وعلمت عليه،
أيوة أقدر أسوي الإكسبورت، كتب كوتيشن معين.
قصدك أسوي إكسبورت للملف وتكون التعليمات حقتي موجودة عليه؟
قصدي مثلا إذا أنا كنت باخذ كوتيشن من ملف معين، طيب ممكن 3 سنتنس 4 سنتنس، ممكن باراجراف معين، أوكي، هل أقدر أصدره على مندلي إلى الملف الوورد تبعي أو ما أقدر؟
قصدك تنسخينها من نفس PDF إلى الوورد؟ لا ما
أيوة.
أتوقع. لا ما أتوقع.
ما في تصدير لها.
السؤال الأول معليش نسيت إيش كان
هو أكثر دقة مندلي أو الإند نوت؟ أكثر دقة في
هو على اليوزر. إذا أثناء ترتيب الريفرنسز حطيتي الكيرسر في المكان الصحيح والريفرنسز اخترتي ستايل الصحيح، كلهم نفس الشيء يعني. النقطة الأخيرة اللي عادة أنا أسويها قبل لا أرسل لمجلة، إنه أروح للعدد الأخير من المجلة اللي يكون منشور وأحمل واحدة من المقالات وأتأكد إنه الريفرنسز حقتي مطابقة. most of the time تكون مطابقة، لكن أحيانا يكون في minor differences ممكن انتبه له قبل لا اسوي سبمشن للمجله. فهذه extra step just to make sure if you are concerned.
Let's go to the chat and then we can conclude.
اتوقع انه الشات انا وصلت الى الاخير.
اوكي خلاص.
في كثير ناس يسالون عن المحاضره يا محمد، وين بتوضع؟
We will announce later ان شاء الله. it will يعني once we download it and then we will provide دكتور عادي with the link وخلاص ممكن ننشرها. you can see it on his account in Twitter أو between residents and I think it's easy to reach to everyone يعني. ما
أنا بحط إيميلي إذا تسمح يا محمد.
إيه.
If someone wants to contact me for whatever reason بحط إيميلي وتويتر account. I'm available at any time. يشرفني التواصل مع الجميع.
طيب thank you so much يا دكتور عادي for your valuable times والextra few minutes هذه اللي ما هي محسوبة على هذا. It was a wonderful 90 minutes and we are still hanging there. بدأنا ب 170 now we have 90 and still يعني large number of people. شكرا جزيلا على وقتك وشكرا على الحضور وشكرا على تفاعلهم وعلى answering the questions. يعني approach دكتور عادي on his email or account to answer your questions. أو later on the link will be spread إن شاء الله for the recorded lecture.
الله يعطيك العافية يا محمد، وبحب أشكر قسم العيون في جامعة الملك سعود. طبعا هذا بيتي الثاني ومدرسة تعلمت فيها وفيها أساتذتي كثير، شرفني إنه بعضهم حضر. والشكر جزيل للدكتور عبد الله فواز رئيس القسم وجميع أعضاء القسم، والشكر أيضا موصول لك على تنظيم على الدعوة وعلى تنظيم هذا اللقاء، وإن شاء الله تجمعنا لقاءات قادمة بإذن الله تعالى. شكرا على اللي صملوا معانا 90 إلى الآن، بدأوا يتناقصون صاروا 8. شكرا للجميع وأتمنى لكم ليلة سعيدة بإذن الله.
الله يعطيكم العافية جميعا، شكرا جزيلا. شكر موصول كذلك الدكتور عبد الله على يعني إشرافه ومساعدته. يلا نراكم على خير جميعا، مع السلامة.
يلا سك الباب وطفي اللمبات.
مع السلامة، تصبحوا على خير.